All right, by 19, I made clients multiple seven figures. I lived in Miami. I did the LA thing. I went to Europe for work. I did everything basically that the version of me a year ago before that moment would have thought was like not even possible and out of reach. And I'm saying that at 20 now, in the last 2 months, I've worked consistent like 18, 20-hour days, and I've admittingly just like been on like strong ass meds every 4 hours because of the migraines and just the headaches. Um, and I want to share something that I think I'm going to enjoy looking back on, and I think possibly could help someone else. And this isn't going to be this video where like it's a reflection video and it's just some bullshit that like you're like, no shit, I'm going to run into that, or no shit, like that's the case. And I'm also not going to give you this like reframe that made my life all better and magical again. I just want to be honest with one, myself, and then two, kind of anyone that's watching this that might be approaching a similar kind of part of their journey, that it's acceptable. Like it's okay to like find whatever limit is that you have and like actually touch that and feel that for a little bit and then adjust, because that's where I am. And so for context, up until December of last year, I had either worked in an agency where I could handle multiple accounts, or I worked just myself with 2 client accounts at a time. And then we've done like agency stuff, done for you builds, that kind of thing, and scaled like SMMAs like that to like 30K, 40K. But on the equity side of stuff, I've only done that with like 2 at a time at most, like before December of last year. And what that kind of meant was like every single client was a hit. Like I'm telling you, every single client was a hit. If we touched them, they scaled, they grew, and it was great for referrals and case studies and just like my name in general. And I just built a lot of goodwill in the space. And so then fast forward January, we took all 10 case studies of clients that had made on average like 130K in the first 90 days with us. On average, we took those case studies and we're like, bet, let's rock the portfolio. And what happened next was just like a blessing and a curse at the same time, which I'll explain. We onboarded the first few clients and we're like, okay, a little more than we expected, to be honest. And then the next few came, and then referrals from the first batch came. And then sooner or later, we had like 7 companies under contract that essentially a 3-man team was handling, which obviously like everyone watching this is like, holy shit, that sounds like a mess, which it turned out to be. So essentially all the referrals and stuff, which I didn't turn away because every single client was like, holy shit, this person could do 6 figures a month. Like we've scaled businesses exactly like this person before. We can 100% deliver. And the contracts were great, and they were just great clients, which if you're watching this, your client right now, like you're only a client because I genuinely love jumping on with you. And so we threw those clients on, but I had always in my mind said, okay, when I need to hire, I'll hire, and I'll do that as we scale. Because up until this point, the only mistake I'd ever had made in the past was not taking enough clients on. Like I had always signed clients, delivered, paused acquisition when I got ready to sign more clients. But from every mentor I've heard from, that's like not the way to do it. You sign as many clients as possible, then you troubleshoot how to fulfill them, bring people on that are more talented than you. And what happened was we onboarded so many clients that the small things that needed to be done to keep them happy on a day-to-day basis prevented me from taking a week to be like, who needs to be on this team so that everyone is happy? And so I go from this model of having this 100% success rate, everyone's always incredibly happy, we're over delivering, to now I'm being more reactive than proactive. Now things take a lot longer after I set the plan on Zoom. Like these things just get dragged on. And now even more worse than that, now I'm working 18 to 20-hour days. Now I feel really burnt out. Now I lose love of the game. Now all these things happen to me, and then you stack the guilt of people basically trust you to build an ecosystem. When you're a portfolio and you run like multiple businesses and you have equity in all of them, people are trusting you to build an ecosystem to not only hit their goals, but provide for the people around them as well. And so not only the clients like relying on you to make decisions that drive their growth, their team does, your team does, the family members of their team do, their family does, your family does, and then your team's family. Like everyone relies on you essentially. Okay, if you are the person that says you can do this thing, now you need to build a world where everyone can eat and everyone sees themselves growing in, or else you just churn people. And so you go from building that every day, and you start operating on a day-to-day basis just to get people happy, and then you lose track of, holy shit, I need to bring on XYZ person, XYZ person, XYZ person to make this whole thing operational. And so then you do the basic fulfillment, you get everything somewhat up and running, and then along the way you realize, holy shit, I am not only working too many hours in a day, I am 2, not bringing the impact I want to bring to this business. And then 3, because I'm working so many hours, I don't even have time to bring the people on that I need to bring on. So then you just go on this little loop every single day. And I do this to this day. I wake up and there's maybe 140 notifications on my phone, and every single person deserves a 20-minute response from you at max, which is what I believe. And when no one's getting that, you feel complete shit. And I think it's when the headache started. Because not only was I working so much, I was always on call. I was always speaking. And so I never had time to think. It was always just me, like, whatever was on the call was happening, that's where my attention was. And I never went back to go, okay, cool, let me look at my day. Because by the time the day ended, I was so drained of all the energy that I had, the creative energy. None of that got done. So anyways, I say all that to say that that's okay to find that limit. But what you need to understand is the best decision for not only you, because I would trick myself into thinking the best decision for this client right now is I get this shit done that's right in front of me, and then I'll figure my personal shit out later. What's even more dangerous for that ecosystem that you're trying to build is that you go away and you literally are unable to do that because of like your health. So I say that to say slamming Celsiuses and all that bullshit, like it does for the week or two, make things feel better, give you more energy. But the reality is, I'd push myself so hard to where that limit is. I found it now that all of a sudden, like I almost as just a person started to just deteriorate. I didn't go outside, I didn't eat well, I didn't do anything until like 4 p.m. Like imagine not eating or doing anything for yourself until 4 p.m. and I'd wake up and immediately was on go. And I knew it was a problem when I would start to wake up in the morning and be like literally hyping myself up to check my phone to find out what fires, like what 4 fires on each offer do I need to go tend to today. And like just every day was like I'm left panting at the end of it. Anyways, that sounds dramatic. I'm just saying that to say that you're probably going to run into that sometime soon. And it's not a problem that you do. The problem, or like the important thing, I should say, is that you do the work to fix it. So what are we doing now is the question. And so I've brought in everyone that I've needed to, and I've like pretty much like, and I've taken a hit at my own margins. Like my margins are not as great now, but they're needed just because I care so deeply about every single client that touches me. And touches me is kind of weird, but my name in the space as well. Because up to this point, like this was never something I ran into. I never ran into the worry about like, holy shit, like I need to go think through this thing and I don't have time to think through it for this client, but we're going to do what we can and piece the tracks as the train's running full steam ahead. And I basically just found I was killing myself is the bottom line here. Now, here's the scary thing. If I didn't have such a big why and why I was doing this, then like maybe I would have just quit by now. I run the portfolio with my twin brother. We have 50-50 split on everything. We share the same bank account, literally everything. There's not a single soul in the world that one, I'd rather spend like every day with, and two, that I trust more, obviously. We have both gone through separate periods of life where I'm broke as shit. He's giving me money to get food and other way around as well. And so we've gone through so much shit together and so much like just trench work that it would be a disservice to each other to just fucking stop because we've gone through harder is the reality. And I remember I'm literally sitting in the parking lot. I'm in my hometown right now. I'm sitting in the parking lot of the job I had 2-3 years ago at Vons. Vons is a grocery store. And I remember going on my break and I couldn't afford the chicken nuggets. If you know me, you know that I eat just plain food, like one color shit. I couldn't afford lunch at the grocery store that I worked at. And I remember my brother sending me like 16 cents to get to like $4 in my bank account to be able to buy the food. And it's shit like that. And my brother also took a risk on me. Like he dropped out of school to do this thing with me. And so if I don't suck it the fuck up and figure it the fuck out, I let him down in a major way. And so I want to say 2 things. One, again, if you hit your limit, don't have an ego about it the way I did for like 2 months. Like actually just like admit this is like the ceiling at which I can work every single day and my output, and I need to bring people on and I can't just keep bandaging shit. But 2, you have to have a deeper reason why, and that will like genuinely carry you to the fucking ends of the earth. Like there is not a soul on earth that I would do or put myself through like the fucking stress that I do, except for fucking that dude, because he's done the same thing for me. Just recently, this dude literally pulled an all-nighter. Like we stay up to 4 a.m. I'm like, all right, bet, got a bunch of fucking work done. We gotta wake up in 4 hours anyway. I'm like, bet, tap him up. I'm like, I gotta go to bed, bro. And I get up at 8 a.m. like 4 hours later, which is also cooked. I wake up, he's like, bet, bro. He's awake still, wide awake. I'm like, holy shit, like you sound awake as fuck. He's like, bro, I didn't sleep. Like I just went to Starbucks. I'm like, what the fuck? Literally no one else I could have hired would have ever done that for me. Literally ever. Because no one cares about my name like he does. And vice versa as well. I emphasize still. No one cares like he does. And the same way, like the other way around. And there are times when he went and slept like for 16 hours and I'll go jump on his huddles and cover for him. And there's just like no one else that would make all this bullshit worth it. Because the feeling in 10 years of both of us being able to provide for our families based on the work we did when we had to literally feed each other when we were broke and the shit we stuck out together, like that is gonna be so fucking unbelievable, that feeling. Anyways, I'm just making this video because I felt a lot of guilt for it, but it's okay. If you hit your limit, as long as you find it and you're willing to even go there in the first place and then not give up, which is what a lot of people do. They don't have a deep enough why. You're allowed to find that limit, but when you do, don't have a fucking ego about it like I did. And then 2, like really identify why it is you do this shit, because it's so difficult. Like you are sold on every VSL that this is going to be the easiest life, the easiest path to making 30, 40, 50K a month. And then when you get there and you realize, holy shit, the amount of people that depend on you, and like you get paid that money because people put their lives in your hands. That sounds extreme, but to some extent it's true. Then you'll understand why like people at that level, you're either a complete fucking scammer, or 2, like you genuinely are cracked at what you do. Like you genuinely are one of the best in the space at what you do. And I'd only want to get there because of the second. And we'll continue doing what we do best, which is just caring way too fucking much about clients to the point where we'll literally work ourselves to death. But now we're going to do it in a way where it's efficient, we're leveraged, and we can continue doing the things that we're actually really good at that gives that client growth. But I wanted to make the video because it's kind of a PSA too, just an update on what's going on for me personally, what's been going on. I'll be back on here we have some case studies to actually go through. I'll drop some case studies on here, some Miro board videos or whatever the fuck, kind of talking about what we're doing for clients, what's working, what's not working, that kind of thing. And the roster of clients is disgusting. The people that are within the portfolio genuinely excite the shit out of me when I hop on phone with them, and they're sharp. And we've moved past the level of like, you sign someone that like you have to coddle. I don't have any clients I need to coddle. Every single one of them does their shit to a fucking S tier level, and I'm excited to give them every facet of team they would need to bring that shit to the multiple six figure month level. So anyways, much love. I will drop more sauce here coming soon. I don't know. Fucking peace.